Yep, we are back. We are doing another deck profile of my personal favorite character in Quintessential Quintuplets, Yotsuba. Now this is a pure Yotsuba deck, and this is ready for a Quints Cup, not exactly a title cup, because this is mono character. I know, it's weird. Well, anyways, I'm going to take this to a Quints title cup, and we're gonna see how we do. So, me from the future, how was it?
I did horrible.
Oh, thank you, me from the future. Now, back to the deck profile. This features cards from set 1 and set 2. No movie set cards yet because I do want to keep this up to date in the English format. Before we get started with the video, I do want to say a major thank you to all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers scrolling up over here. Because of their continued support, I'm able to do more unboxings and more deck profiles. But a major shout out to friend of the channel Soul Blader, also known as Weiss and such on YouTube and on Twitter. Go give them a follow. They literally just gifted me the entire playset of Yotsuba. Sounds expensive. It's not. It's only like 15 bucks or something. So major thank you to Soul Blader, aka Weiss and such. Go follow their socials on Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. And again, thank you so much. Back to the deck profile. And let's get started. This deck is called Ribbon Power. It is an 8 gold bar, yellow-green mono character deck for Quintessential Quintuplets. So let's get started. So I'm not going to say that it's a Yotsuba card because you know it's a Yotsuba card. I'm just going to call off the what the card is actually called. Starting off with the level 0s, we have New Year. She gains a soul, she's in the middle position, and she is a climax swap. Super self-explanatory. I always run 2 climax swappers as a just in case in my deck, and she just happens to gain a soul in the middle position, which is a nice upside. Mood Maker is one of the better Yotsuba cards in the utility department, and I do recommend this in any deck. She has on play drop salvage and on play drop search, so both effects do activate at the same time, so you could do one after the other, or you could choose which one that you want, which is great. What is great is that both effects are on the same card, so it does free up space in your deck. It is always nice to have a drop search or a drop salvage in your deck, and just a heads up, you might be using the drop salvage effect just a little bit more. Ina Yukata is on play from hand. You can top check your deck, and if it's a Yotsuba character, this card gains 2 key power, and you put the card that you revealed back to the top of your deck, and she is a Yotsuba character clean cut. So that clean cut effect only works on Yotsuba characters, and what is great is that you are top checking your deck, so you know you're gonna trigger. Also, 4K clean cut, kinda busted. Here is your bar fixer. Each and every one's strength is a global 500, and when you trigger a gold bar, you could ditch a card, top check up to 2 cards from your deck, add a card. Get this on the field ASAP. This is a great way to keep your hand clean. The global 500 is nice as well, and you can grab just any card, so that is damn good. Active Lifestyle states that when this card attacks, choose one of your other Quints characters and they gain 500 power equal to the amount of other Quints characters that you own. And during your opponent's turn, when she is reversed, you can pay 1, rest her, and send her to the memory at the start of your encore step. It's a Shizu, and she's a nice memory target as well. The Quintessential Quintuplet is a pay 1, tap self-searching brainstorm, and act. Pay 1, ditch a climax, clock salvage, then you give a character 500 power. It's your brainstormer, a way to keep your hand clean, and you're able to grab any card in your clock as well, so that is pretty solid. The last level 0 is Pure Wish. During your turn, all level 0 or lower characters in front of this card gain 1k power and act. Pay 1, send this card to your waiting room. Top check up to 3 cards, choose a character among them, add it to your hand. Then you could send this card right here, the 3/2, what she yearned for, from your waiting room to your memory. That is your level 3 combo right there, so keep that in mind. We'll go through the entire combo a little later, but heads up, this is one of the only ways to get your level 3 into the memory. There is another card, but we'll get to that a little later. And on top of that, the utility is great, super easy to use, and imagine if it sent itself to the memory? That'd be great. Level 1s, we're starting with 2 flash cards. If you have 4 or more Yotsuba characters, you could salvage a Yotsuba character. It's a super solid card. It is an amazing just in case. And if you haven't noticed, we are milling a lot in this deck, so it is nice to have your waiting room as an extra resource, or as we call it on this channel, an extra deck. That's a joke, please don't call it an extra deck. Plus, it's super easy getting 4 Yotsuba characters on board. It's literally the entire deck. More utility. Here's an anti-early drop stock bomb, and this states that if you pay 1, if you have 5 or more Yotsuba characters, you can free fresh. 2 Sparkling Smile gain 2k power during your turn if you have 2 or more other characters, and when your other Quints character is front attack, you can pay 1, send this to the waiting room, bounce that character back to your hand. So it's a nice way to preserve some cards, and the 6k5 body during your turn is pretty solid as well. Here's the Climax combo from the trial deck. you know what it does. Gains 1k power during your turn and climax combo on attack. Mill 2. Salvage a character equal to the level of the cards milled. Gold bar, of course. Literally don't play anything else. So yeah, nothing has changed. And again, what is great is that you're milling a lot, so those flash cards really do come in handy. Level 2s. We do have level 2s, but we're adding the early drops here as well. Sisterly Love is a level assist, 500 forward, and when you play this card, you could send one of the 3/2 Yotsubas, you know, these ones again, from your waiting room to the memory. And her other effect is similar to the 0/0 bar fixer, but it's when you trigger any climax and you have to discard a climax. It's not just any card. So this card is mandatory, but I only run 2 of because there are multiple ways of grabbing this card, either from your deck or your waiting room because of the mill power. You're not really worried if you're milling it. Again, super important because this is the only other way you could send that 3/2 to the memory, so we do run it at 2. Alright, early drops. Always prioritizing others is on play heal, and she is an early drop if you have 3 or more characters in your memory. That is why you run the 0/0s, and you want to work towards getting the 3/2s to your memories. So you could play this early and you could heal to stall. Solid card. Now I only run 2 of those because this one's a little easier. Damn, I love this card. Which Test is a 4 or more Yotsuba character early drop. On play, draw 2, ditch 2, blind stock, and if all of your characters are Yotsuba characters, this card gains 2k power. I'll explain all the combos a little later, but there is a neat little combo for this card, and yeah, it's solid. Finally, our level 3. What she yearned for as a climax combo, memory, when the world as she leaps is in play, which is this one over here. Move that up in the corner. If you're level 3 or higher and this card is in your memory, you could play this on any position on your center stage, and her other effect is at the end of this card's attack, you could pay 2, ditch 1, mill the bottom 5 cards of your opponent's deck into the waiting room, burn equal to the amount of climaxes milled, and this card gains 1k power until the end of the turn. The climax is a 1k1 and a gold bar when triggered. 5 is a lot for a mill. There were a couple times where the mill, attack, and burn combo forced my opponent into a deck refresh, which is a nice little bonus. Alright, so what the hell is this deck trying to do? There are 2 things. The first thing is, obviously, working towards your level 3 combo. The odd thing about this deck is that it is not a traditional level 3 combo. You can still play your level 3 and not have the climax to get the Icy Tail effect. What you're doing is using these 2 cards over here to send this to the memory. You play this one, you use this card's effect, shoot it to the memory. It's not that hard. Now here's a little example. Here's a little trick play that I'd like to do. So let's say we got her stuck in your hand and you need her into the waiting room. What you could do is, like, obviously these are going to live in your back row. You could toss her, doesn't really matter. You could toss her as well, doesn't really matter. You got this card, right? Alright, on play, pay 2, you draw 2, ditch 2, you ditch the exact card that you don't need, and you could blind stock as well. And to keep your blind stock clean, you could pay 1, pop her, top check up to 3, send the exact card that you ditched to the memory. Oh no, you got an open spot. Sure, push this forward. Pay 1, bring her out, send another copy of the 3/2 to the memory. Yep, send her. And there, now you have like a decent board, I guess. Now, the whole reason you would do all of this is if this is stuck in your hand and you need to send it to the waiting room. Also, this is going to get hella power now. Because with the level assist plus the global 500, this is now at 13k power, which, that's pretty good. Now, in this situation, because these 2 cards, I basically do the exact same thing, you could possibly send that up, but I like to keep this one in the back row because the global 500, it does kind of help every now and then. So ideally, you would like to try field these with the climax combo effect, but if you can't, if you have 2 in your memory, yeah, that works. That's fine. That doesn't matter. Because the cost in itself is pretty damn cheap. It's pay 2, ditch 1. But ideally, you want to save your stock. You want to save your hand. That's why you're working towards sending these to your memory, so you could bring these out. Maybe you could hard play 1. Then on attack, you would trigger, and then that attack in itself would be half of the cost. Basically, it'll just be whatever you're left with plus this one. And like I've mentioned, Icy Tail for 5 is quite a bit. There is going to be a high chance that you'll be hitting for at least 3, then pinging for 1. Now, unfortunately, that isn't like the Itsuki combo, which, Jesus Christ, that's insane. But it's still sizable enough that you can close out games if you have all 3 on board. Also, do not forget that this card gains 1k power until the end of your opponent's turn. So with the level assist and the global 500, it's going to be even stronger. And there we have it. Thank you all for watching. And a major thank you to friend of the channel, Weiss and Stuff, aka Soul Blader. And thank you, friend of the channel, user not found, for these ones. And also, thank you, Weiss and Stuff, Soul Blader, for these wafer cards as well. They're very, very cute. Really appreciate it. So let me know what you think of the deck, and in the comments section, say one nice thing about Yotsuba. Thank you all for watching. Catch you all in the next one.